Hello students, today we discuss another topic is related to backbone having individuals which are belongs to a special group is named as chordata. So these backbone having group of individuals which are especially belongs to chordata, but the chordata term which is the first time coined by one of the great biologists. He was named as Balfour. So the Balfour given the term as chordata, but in which chordata, which is a Greek term, so has a majorly the two Greek words. One is cardos and the second one is eta. Cardos is nothing but you can simply call backbone, and eta is nothing but to bear or to having. So simply the backbone having individuals are belongs to chordata, but these chordata group of organisms which are having the some salient features, especially these salient features are diagnostic characteristics either in the embryonic stage or adult stage. Of these, the first characteristic which is named as notochord. So here it is a stiff rod like, and at the same time it is a unjointed flexible rod like structure which is located at the dorsal side of the body, and which is between the means which is located in between the dorsal halo nerve cord and elementary canal. So here it is the one of the salient feature of chordates. And the second characteristic which is named as dorsal nerve cord, means here it is also located at the dorsal region of the body, and it is hollow tube like organ. It is the second one. And third major salient feature is called gill slits. So here which are located at the besides of pharynx, so that's why which are also named as pharyngeal gill slits. So these pharyngeal gill slits are mainly responsible for the process of respiration. And again the last fourth type is called post anal tail means the posterior end of the body has a tail, but this tail which is either reduced or absent in many adults, so that is related to four varieties of salient features. And at the same time here this chordata group of organisms can also show the some other characteristics. Of these other characteristics, like first regarding these are possess the bilateral symmetry. So bilateral symmetry means which are gives the two identical halves by a single median axis, and this group of organisms are belongs to triploblasticans means which are having the three number of germinal layers like ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. And at the same time segmentization which is clearly appeared in the within the body, especially in the muscle cells. And this group of organisms are belongs to organ system level organization, means the generally the group of organs can forms the organ system. And sepalization means the clear or distinct form of head is also present. And true coelom is also seen in this group of organism, like a enterocoelom type of coelom is present. And endoskeleton is also clearly developed. And the several metabolic activities like a complete digestive tract is present, complete digestive tract. And special respiratory organs, either it is a gills or lungs. So these special respiratory organs which are helps in the exchanging of respiratory gases, and as well as the special excretory organs are also present, either it is a protonephridia type or mesonephridia type or metanephridia type of, mainly metanephridia type of excretory organs are present, which are helpful for the elimination of nitrogenous wastes towards to outside. And next, like a closed circulatory system is present. Closed circulatory system is also very common. And at the same time, separate sexes means the sexes are separate or which are bisexual organisms. And gonads are also present. Gonads are present with gonoducts. Gonoducts are also present. And finally, these group of individuals which are shows the without asexual mode of reproduction. So finally here these are all are various type of other characteristics and main characteristic and introduction. Now we will discuss about the classification. So now we discuss about the classification of chordata. Classification of chordata. So generally this chordata is one of the phylum. So this phylum is classified into mainly two subphylums. Two subphylum on the based on the presence or absence of skull. Based on the presence or absence of the skull, especially the first group of subphylum of chordata is called Ecraniata, and second group of chordata is called Craniata, right? Ecraniata and Craniata, these are the two subgroups. And at the same time, this Ecraniata, which is also named as protochordata, but here this Craniata is also named as vertebrata, right? So these are the major two subphylums. And again this Ecraniata, which is again classified into two groups and based on especially the location of notochord. Means here the notochord is one of the major salient feature of chordata group of organisms. So these notochord, whenever which is presented the tail region, so that's why which are included under one of the group is called urochordata. If the notochord which is located in the head of the individual, so that's why those are included under cephalochordata. So means here these are the major two group of organism. One is urochordata and the second one is called cephalochordata. So in which urochordata has the two Greek terms, like the first one is called euros. Euros is nothing but tail, and same here the chordos, rod like stiff flexible structure which is also called backbone like structure is called notochord. And eta, here eta is nothing but to bear or to having. So finally the notochord which is located at the tail region in some of the individuals, those are belongs to urochordata. And again here in cephalochordata, which also have the Greek terms, one is cephalos. Cephalos is nothing but cephalization or head, and remaining chordos. Chordos is nothing but same as here the rod like structure is called notochord. Eta, here it is called tubular. So finally the head of the some individuals has a notochord, so that's why those are belongs to cephalochordata. So the these Eukaryotic group of organisms mainly which are sedentary animals means which are complete fixed organisms, but here the cephalochordates which are somewhat free living animals, but these two group of organisms are belongs to protochordata means here these are consist the a poorly form of notochord which is persist in their embryonic stages but which is absent in their adult stage. So that is the one of the common characteristic. And at the same time these Eukaryotic group of individuals like suitable examples here which are all are marine animals. So these marine animals, one of the marine animal is called Herodmania, see one of the good example, and Acidia, and here Pyrosoma is a one of the bioluminescent organism. Pyrosoma is a bioluminescent organism. Finally these are the suitable examples for Eukaryotic. But here the cephalochordata group of organism has a less number of genera, but one of the individual is called Amphioxus which is also named as Branchiostoma. So in this group of the members majorly commonly which are called as just lanceolates. So means these are the common names of cephalochordates, but Eukaryotes which are commonly named as sea potato or sea squirts. So this is the about the one of the subphylum of chordata, and now we will discuss about the another second subphylum is called craniata, right? So this craniata group is also again classified into two sections like the first section is called Egnatostomata, and the second one is called Gnathostomata. So means here these two group of subsections which are classified on the based on especially the presence or absence of jaws. If the jaws are absent means here the jaws which are completely absent in some individuals, those are belongs to Egnatostomata, but here which are having the jaws, so means here the jaws are present. So that's why here gnathos it indicates the jaw, stoma means here opening, eta is nothing but to bear. At the same here a without jaw having individuals, so these are Egnathostomes and these are called Gnathostomes. And at the same time these Egnatostomata group of organisms which are consist the only single type of nostrils, so that's why which are also named as monorhina individuals. But here Gnathostomata group of individuals has a two types of nostrils, so that's why which are named as Amphirhina. So means here these are the major two groups, one is Egnatostomata and second one is called Gnathostomata. So now we will discuss about the Egnatostomata group, but this Egnatostomata group is again classified into two subgroups. Like first group is a complete extinct individual which are mainly belongs to Ostracodermy, and second group is called Cyclostomata. One is Ostracodermy, here these are complete marine organisms and extinct animals, but here the Cyclostomata which are another type of individuals, but in which Ostracodermy, so these are possess the just like a armored body, so that's why which are also named as armored fishes. and these ostracodermy group of individuals which are seen in at the time of Ordovician era or Ordovician period, and the good example for ostracodermy is called cephalaspin and hemicephalaspin, which are the suitable examples for ostracodermy. But here the cyclostomata, which are the living form of individuals, the long eel-like body is present, and at the same time which are having the major characteristic like a mouth circular mouth having individuals. The well suitable examples like lamprey is scientifically called petromyzon, and second one is called hagfishes, which are commonly called mixin. Sorry, here common name is called hagfish, but it is scientifically named as mixin. Mixin is the scientific name, but here petromyzon. So simply here it is about the circular mouth having individuals and living forms and a long eel-like body. And now we will discuss about the another last group is called gnathostomata. But this gnathostomata is again classified into two subgroups, like exclusively aquatic group of individuals which are belongs to Pisces, and second one the tetrapoda. So means here tetrapoda is nothing but four number of leg or limbs having individual, or two pairs of limb having individuals are belongs to tetrapoda. But here these are complete aquatic individuals. So these aquatic group of individuals which are belongs to one of the branch of zoology is called ichthyology. Means here ichthyology is nothing but the study of Pisces, and these Pisces which are evolved in a particular period is called Silurian period, but which is emerged in another period is called Devonian era. So this Devonian era is considered as a golden age of Pisces or golden age of fishes. Here these are the common, but these Pisces which are again divisible into like three groups: Placodermy and Chondrichthyes and finally Astichthyes. So here these are the various type of subgroups of fishes or Pisces, and these Placodermy are complete extinct animals, and Chondrichthyes like marine organisms, like one of the example is called shark, and Astichthyes group of animals which are freshwater animals and some are marine water animals. The well suitable example is called Katla, right? So here it is about Pisces. The study of Pisces is called ichthyology. Now we will discuss tetrapoda, but these tetrapoda group of organisms which are again classified into four classes levels. Of these four classes levels, the first class is called amphibia. And next one is called reptilia, and next one aves, and finally the last group of tetrapoda is named as mammalia, right? So here generally the amphibia which are lives in water and as well as on the land. So that's why here these are shows the double life, like a terrestrial life and as well as aquatic life. But these group of animals which are shows the creeping nature with the help of their abdomen, and here these are aviating animals which is done by with the help of several flight adaptations with the help of mainly feathers and muscles and furcula and etc. But the last group of individuals which are highly advanced group of animals belongs to mammalia, right? So here the study of amphibia is named as batrachology. Study of amphibia is called batrachology. Study of reptilia is called herpetology. And the study of aves is named as ornithology. And study of mammalia is called mammalogy, right? So these are the different studies which are included under zoology. And here these amphibians are again divisible into several classes, but I am discussing mainly like rana, tigrina, and different type of salamanders, and ichthyophis and gaganophis. These are the some examples for amphibians, which are shows the aquatic life and as well as terrestrial life is the major characteristic. But here reptilians, which are shows the creeping nature with their abdomen, and in this group of organisms are like snakes, means the different type of snakes like russell viper and kite and marine snakes, and turtles, tortoise, terrafins, and crocodiles, and the various type of extinct animals are also included under reptilia. And in which aves, these are complete aviating organisms, means which are flying in the air with the help of feathers like quill feather, remiges feathers, rectrices, and etc. But the suitable example is called psittacula and Pavocristatus and Gallus and etc. So these are the some examples of aves. And finally here the milk producing and milk secreting animals, are called mammalians. And these mammalians, which are having the majorly one of the characteristic is called mammary glands, which are the modified forms of skin glands. And at the same time skin glands are also modified to form a like sebaceous glands, ceruminous glands, and sudorific glands, and etc. But well suitable example is called tiger, human beings, and elephant, and etc. So these are the some of the examples for mammalians, right? Thank you.